तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Okay, so in the last class we saw Maya. We saw two things, Maya and Ishvara. So this awareness with its potential to manifest is called Maya. In that Maya there is, so Vikshepa Shakti, the potential of what? So Vikshepa, manifest, is called Vikshepa Shakti. Okay? And that Vikshepa Shakti manifests what? The five elements and all the elementals, which are combination of five elements. Yeah? And arranges them through series of laws and orders. Now, what we need to understand is that wherever there is any manifestation, in the next verse it is said, Srushti Nama Brahma Rupe Satchidananda Vastuni Abdhau Fenadivat Sarva Nama Rupa Prasadana. So now, Srushti Nama, so what is, Srushti is what? The whole manifestation. So in this manifestation, which is a result of the Maya Shakti, which is projecting the whole universe, not only you find what? Knowledge and power, which is what the manifestation is not just random manifestation, there is very intricate knowledge, and then there is what? Power to manifest. But that is what we call Ishvara. So we had two terms, which is what Maya is a potential, and when the manifest universe comes, the cause of the universe is called Ishvara. Before the manifest universe comes, you can't call it Ishvara. Before you become the mother, you can't be called mother, but you still have the potential to be mother. So therefore, now wherever you see Maya, wherever you see Srushti, it's a result of what? The Maya Shakti. And then you see knowledge and power, which is organizing any given form, and that forms interaction with other forms. So you see Maya Shakti, and you also see what? Ishvara. Sarvajna, Sarva, potential, which then gives manifestation to that given form. And that in that form you see what? Power to manifest, and also the knowledge with which that form is organized. Now, in that form you also see Satchidananda. So this is what it says, wherever there is Srushti Nama, wherever there is Srushti, you will see it is in Satchidananda Vastuni. Okay, so now we have to understand that wherever there is knowledge and power, which is all knowledge and all power, there is also the presence of what? Satchidananda Atma is what? This awareness. So because everything has come from awareness, this power belongs to awareness, the manifestation is also something which the knowledge and the power, which is Ishvara, is also what coming from, what is the reality of that? That is also awareness. So whenever you see in this creation, you will see different, as though different things. You will see the form. That form is called what? Body or whatever. Then you will see, if it's an alive form, you will see what? There is some sense of I sense. Whether it is a rudimentary sense or it's a highly evolved sense of I, it is still there. That is what we call ahankara. So you see a form, and if it is a sentient form, you see ahankara, the I sense. Where you see that, that's exactly where there is what? The all knowledge and all power, which is making that form what it is. Don't look for somewhere else. That's exactly where it is. The knowledge and power. You have neurons in your brain which can do these 4 functions of thinking. But there is the intelligence which has organized the neurons, which makes it possible for these 4 functions to be there. You didn't create that. The form did not create that. So therefore, look at this. Where there is form, a life form, there is I sense. And where there is I sense, there is a lot more a basic, which is not basic, but it is what? All knowledge and all power, which makes that form what it is. And where you see all knowledge and all power, that's exactly where you see what? Also awareness. Go back to ocean example, the wave example. The wave with one's eyes, if the eyes are programmed to see the forms, will only see what? Other forms. If the eyes are programmed to see forms, will see only other forms. If there is a teaching which makes them aware of the fact that, hey, there is this ocean, the entity within which all the different waves exist, then the wave understands the presence of ocean and understands what? The all-pervading ocean within which the existence of wave is. Then the wave is told, wherever you see the ocean, there exactly also is water. So you are taken, your buddhi is taken from forms to what? The ocean and the water. Whenever you touch the wave, you touch the ocean and you also touch what? Water. Don't look for it somewhere else. Anything that you see in this universe, you will find the form. If it is sentient, you will find I sense. You will find all knowledge and all power which makes that form what it is. And you will also find awareness, without which what? That little form as well as all knowledge and all power cannot exist. If you examine one thing in the universe, you've examined everything. If is in the morning, when Surya asks you to close your eyes and makes you see the presence of awareness, before the thought comes, awareness is. While the thought is there, awareness is. When the thought is gone and there is silence, awareness is. So that means when I look at this body, I find the form, body. I find my I sense, which gives me the individuality with which I operate in the universe. I find the all knowledge and all power, which has made my body what it is. Billions of cells, all the organs, the eyes, everything, the coordination within that, the brain, everything is what manifestation of that all knowledge and all power. And I also find awareness. What is the relationship between all of that? Shastra also tells me that. What is the relationship? Sorry? Satya Mithya relationship. As though there are three: wave, ocean and water. But in reality, if I take water and if I take out water, where is the ocean and where is the wave? Not possible. The wave depends upon what? Water for its existence. The ocean also depends upon water for its existence. Both the wave and the ocean, are they same in form? They are very different in form. Me, the individual, is what? Alpajnaha, Alpa Shaktiman. Alpajnaha, Alpa Shaktiman means the form has limited capacity and limited knowledge. This is why you can dedicate your whole life to some research of one given topic among this vast universe and you still won't be able to totally fathom that given topic. Alpa Jnaha. I look at the form, it is what? Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman. Ishvara, within which there is this form, is what? Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman. All knowledge and all power. Which makes not only my form what it is, makes every other form what it is. There is a difference in form. Yesterday, Tistan was saying that when you have an equation, you can't have two sides which are equal. 2 is equal to 2, he gave an example, is not an equation. In order for it to be equation, the two sides have to look very different. He gave an example of 3 plus 2 is equal to 6 minus 1. One side is what? 3. The other side is 6. One side is plus, the other side is minus. One side is 2, other side is 1. You can say, how can there be equation? It's all looking very different. But there is an equation. If there is an equation and if you solve the equation at a wrong point, you are on a trip. If you say, oh, 3 plus 2 is equal to 6 minus 1, therefore, this is your creativity. 3 is equal to 6, plus is equal to minus, and 2 is equal to 1. Wow, I got it. But if you use Shastra carefully, follow the logics, you will say, hey, the point of resolution, this can't be point of resolution. I can't start walking and thinking I've created the universe. If my I is an individual, the form, certainly it has not created the universe. I haven't even created my body, let alone the entire universe. The point of resolution is, in order to understand the equation correctly, you need to have a right point of resolution. What is the point of resolution in 3 plus 2 is equal to 6 minus 1? Where does the equation end?
In the result.
In 5. In 5 it ends. 3 plus 2, you have to solve one side of the equation, it comes to 5. The other side, 6 minus 1, also comes to 5. So that means you have to end where? Where is the equation? At 5. If you try to do it at a wrong point, you will make a huge mistake. One of the participants who came to our retreat in Rishikesh, and she was very amused when in Rishikesh one person was just walking around and he was saying, I'm Ishvara, I'm Ishvara. It is true that it is an equation. Tat tvam asi. You are that. That use what tvam is you, and that stands for what? Ishvara. But if you start thinking that the entire universe as an individual, me, I have created everything. Then you are deluded. But if you follow Shastra, you will say, in that tvam, there is what? The individual. What is the starting point of this tvam? No, the starting point, where you start from, not without Shastra. Where you start from is what? Body, mind, senses. So that is your 3 plus 2, equivalent to 3 plus 2. From where you come from, Shastra brings you to 5, which is what? Awareness. Lakshyartha. You start with Vachyartha. Vachyartha is what? The immediate meaning that the word you gives you. Then you come to the intended meaning that Shastra has for the word you, which is what? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So you've solved what? One side of equation. From the meaning of I has undergone a very major shift from this little individual to awareness. What is the other side of the equation? Tat. What is that Tat? Sarvatnyaha Sarvashaktiman Ishvara. All knowledge and all power. Now imagine there are so many people who make so many conceptual errors at so many levels when they understand, when they try to understand the equation Tattvamasi. Imagine this side, you solve the equation and you come to awareness. There you keep Sarvagdaha and Sarvashaktiman Ishvara as Ishvara. You have not solved what? The other side of the equation. Then what you will believe, there are so many people, if they don't understand properly, they said, oh, Vedanta is talking about awareness is everything. Ishvara also depends upon this awareness. Why should I pray to Ishvara? Because here you have solved, and there what this all knowledge and all power you have not solved. You can make so many conceptual errors in understanding this equation. So what is the solution of this side? That side.
Jiva side.
No, that is Tvam side.
If you make not the equation, you think you are Ishvara.
Exactly. But what is, if you solve the equation, then all knowledge and all power on the other side also we saw. Maya capacity is whose Maya capacity? Awareness. And that potential, when it manifests as the universe, is what we call Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman. That also belongs to what? Awareness. So one side of the equation, Tvam, you solve, you come to awareness. The other side, which looks very different from this side, when you solve, what do you come to? Awareness. What is the point of resolution? Awareness. You don't become greater than Ishvara. Ishvara has the same truth as you. You don't know it and Ishvara knows it. This is why the whole teaching is from Ishvara. Knowledge cannot come from human beings because they don't know the reality. Knowledge has to come from where? Ishvara, the all knowledge and all power, which is not confused, is the other side of Maya.
Why don't they just say you are awareness to the Jiva? Why bother saying you are Ishvara and then deducing?
Because the thing is, if you just say your awareness, you are ignoring one whole big part of inquiry. You are ignoring the entity Ishvara which is there. There is this all knowledge and all power which is organizing the universe, and it is following certain laws, and your maturity is very much dependent upon your recognizing the presence of those laws and aligning to them.
So then Tattvamasi brings everything.
Exactly. Tattvamasi brings everything, every aspect. If you're interested in the truth, you can't just ignore one part. The wave can understand, yes, I am the water, but it cannot ignore the entity ocean because it's there. If you're interested in reality, you can't just skip according to your wishes. So this is why this is an ingenious method, and this is why the whole teaching comes from Ishvara. How will you ignore Ishvara? Your opportunity to learn comes from Ishvara. When you sit in the class, whether your mind stays with what the teaching is or not, there is partly your effort and partly some grace. And even if you make an effort, how much you really understand is also Ishvara. There is some part which is Ishvara. You need grace. To understand this final equation without confusion, without ignoring things. Now, if you look at the example with water and ocean and wave. When the wave comes to know that the truth of wave is water and the truth of ocean is also water, will the differences in the forms of wave and ocean, will they remain or not? They will remain. Wave will not go through some kind of a, because now it's an enlightened wave. Some expansion, because now I'm enlightened, so some light has to come out of me. The wave will remain wave in form, and the ocean is mighty ocean, which is much bigger than what that wise wave. True. The magnificent ocean. It will remain magnificent. The only thing is that even if there is a difference in form, there is a point where they are the same. That point is awareness. If you think from the standpoint of awareness, then both waveness and oceanness, are they intrinsic attributes of water? No. While the wave cannot exist without water, water is independent of being what? A wave. While the ocean cannot exist without water, the water is independent of being the ocean. Because water is just H2O. There is no intrinsic attribute, means what? The waveness does not stick to the water. Oceanness also does not stick to the water. So on one hand, you can say that Ishvara is the creator, but the entire show is happening in what? Satchidananda Atma. Jiva, which is equivalent to wave, cannot exist without awareness. Ishvara, which is equivalent to ocean, cannot exist without awareness. Awareness is free from being both. This is what you were talking when you were talking about what is the word you use? Some limiting adjunct. Okay, okay. So that in Sanskrit is called upadhi. Okay. So what it is one water with two different upadhis. One upadhi is what? Wave. The other upadhi is what? The ocean. What is upadhi and what is upahita? That you need to understand. Upadhi is defined as that which as though lends its attribute to something else. Now that I have this beautiful flower, I'm going to try to use it. Okay. Now imagine this is a glass, and if the rose is placed here, and if I ask you, and if you didn't know that, what is the color of the glass, And if you just looked at it without really giving it a much thought, what would you think? Red. There is a perception of redness, and in your vision it belongs to the glass. So therefore, this flower is what? Upadhi. It as though lends its attribute to the glass. So glass is called upahita and this is called upadhi. This as though takes on redness and this as though lends redness to the glass. As though. Nothing has really happened. It has never really become red. Now, if you were to know that the redness belongs to the flower and not to the glass, what will you do?
If you know.
Huh?
If you know, yeah.
Yeah. So then there is one way that you can know is, imagine that this is now appearing red. So this is an upadhi. Now let me put it back. Okay. Then I take this yellow flower. My God, it's all intricately put. Okay. Now I put, and now it appears to be what? Yellow. Then I use this to say that if the glass is red, it can never give up its redness. If the glass is yellow, it can never give up its yellowness. The very fact that sometimes it appears to be red and sometimes it appears to be yellow, it itself is free from being both. Upahita, Chaitanya, is free from both the upadhis. One is what? Ishvara upadhi. The other one is Jiva upadhi. Ishvara is what? Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman. Jiva is what? Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman. Ishvara is all knowledge and all power, and the individual is what? Limited knowledge and limited power. But both of them are what? What is the upahita? Chaitanya. It as though takes on the attribute of what? All knowledge and all power. And within that one form which becomes what? Little knowledge and little power. And upahita, the Chaitanya, is what? Free from both upadhis. They only give an appearance to awareness as what? On one hand, the knowledge which is manifesting the whole universe, and then one form which is one of the manifestations in the universe. The Upahita Chaitanya, while both are taking place, is free from both. Water has two upadhis. One is ocean, the other one is wave. Upahita water is free from oceanness and waveness.
What's the translation for upahita?
Upahita is that which as though takes on the attribute. Upadhi is that which as though lends its attribute to something else, and upahita is that which as though takes on the attribute. I can put it there. That's easier. So now yellow and red are together.
What lends, in the example of the ocean, what lends the attribute?
Sorry?
In the example of ocean wave, what is lending the attribute?
See, the water takes on two appearances.
So the water is upahita.
Water is upahita. Water is upahita,
Yes.
and ocean and waveness are two upadhis. Two upahita water.
But for upadhis, that which lends an attribute. Because okay, they.
Because you don't see, you see the wave
Yeah.
and you miss the ocean, and you miss the water.
It's difficult to think of it that they land, and you think it comes
As
from
though.
somewhere else.
No, it as though. Only difference between this example is here there are two things, glass and what? Flower. In the case of wave and ocean, there are no two things. Look at this. The water manifesting as wave, what seems to be more real is what? Wave. You pay more attention to the form and you forget the content. They come from, the wave comes from the water, but in terms of your reality, if I ask you what it is, you almost never reply water. You reply what? That it is wave. So the wave has, as though, what length is attribute to water, so wave seems more real and water is forgotten. In the other case, ocean seems more real. If I ask you what it is, you give more reality to the form, so it is as though covered the water. If I ask you what is that, almost nobody will reply it's water. Everybody will say it is what? Ocean. So it as though lends its attribute without really lending its attribute.
Every form is an upadhi.
Sorry?
Every form is an upadhi.
Exactly. Every form is an upadhi. Wonderful. It as though hides consciousness. By lending its attribute to consciousness, whereas consciousness is always free. Every form is what we call Jiva upadhi. Jiva. Jiva is the individual upadhi. And the total from where all the different form comes is what? Ishvara upadhi. And upahita is Chaitanya. Chaitanya is awareness. Awareness takes on two appearances. On one hand, all knowledge and all power, and on the other hand, what? One form which has limited knowledge and limited power.
You now said consciousness instead of awareness.
Yeah, it's both the same. In Sanskrit word, it's called chit. It's called chit, and then
First time I heard from you, so that
yes, yeah, because we use consciousness, but generally what happens when you use consciousness, then people connect that consciousness to some kind of a bodily being conscious.
With energy.
To, huh?
With energy as well.
Yeah. So that's why, but the Sanskrit word is chit, but we use both the words, they are in same sense. Awareness and consciousness both are translations, English translations of the Sanskrit word chit. Like the chit is also used prajnanam brahma. Itself, even Upanishads use different terms. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It's not like it's only one word which is used, which is chit. but what you have to explain what you mean by that. Chaitanya. All these are words which are used to indicate this awareness.
And what is the difference? If
What?
you say Chaitanya or awareness?
No, there is no difference.
It's sometimes just male and female forms. Chit and chai is Vriddhi from chi comes to I.
Ah, so that, yeah,
Change.
Chaitanya, and then
Then
you
they
make
have
an
that
abstract
from a
noun.
male form, they make a female or a neutral, Neutrum. It's oft 3 unterschiedliche Arten auch.
So it means another aspect.
No, it's the
No,
same.
no, no.
Simply the same.
No. This Chaitanya, as he said, it's Vriddhi, and then it is an abstract noun. You make an abstract noun out of that.
And see, it's a good remark if I can say something. See, if we the Upanishad use also jnanam, satyam jnanam. Jnanam is also can be translated as awareness or knowledge. Okay? And it is a neutral noun. So some nouns are feminine, some nouns are masculine, some nouns are neutral. It means what? That for this awareness, it has no gender. See, deliberately if the Upanishad is using different words for it, so that you don't remain stuck in an idea with the idea that it is a given feminine or masculine or neutral form. It is using like as it wants. It's amazing when you notice that in the text. It's very deliberate.
Is it deliberate?
Yeah.
I have heard this with Ishvara and Ishvari.
And that's what sometimes they say Maya is what Shakti, it's feminine, and Ishvara is what Parameshwara is, And the same concept is used in slightly different ways in different Upanishads. Sometimes you use the name potential as Maya, and when it becomes manifest, you call it Ishvara. Sometimes you can say Ishvara with Maya Shakti manifests the universe. These are all different expressions because it's all only one thing.
So it's very fluid, so you don't remain stuck with a name which means something, so you don't remain stuck there. So it is confusing on one hand, because you keep on changing the names for cities. But at the same time, it's to show you, hey, afterwards, what name can I use for this? Right? Really speaking, there is no name, or you use all the names available. Right?
You
This is the idea.
deliberately confuse us to make us think.
Exactly.
Can I tell a story about upadhi?
Yeah.
What I once experienced. I was in the flat of her brother, and I was sitting on the toilet, and it was a green room, green painted, yeah, little small rooms, just toilet, And then I was looking at the toilet paper, and I was really amazed. Wow, they have slightly green toilet paper. I was really amazed. So accurately, the colors. I really didn't got it. And the next time I was sitting there, and I said, no, it can't be possible. It can't be green toilet paper. It was really like fancy stuff. And then I had to change it and go with the toilet paper out. I thought it was green. It was
What was the color?
Yeah.
The color was white?
It was white,
Right.
yeah. It was white. Yeah, but it really took it on, and you couldn't get it.
These are the artist family. They create
So this
all
is-
perfect.
They
All
create
these illusions.
Upadhi. It's a very good example of upadhi. It takes on the attribute and you're so fooled by that.
Yeah, really.
Wonderful. So, Abdhav is in the ocean, then there is what bubbles, there are waves, everything, Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. So that means there are different names according to what specific things that you want to indicate. But in terms of reality, there is only awareness. Because everything else has, as Sahajo said, Satya Mithya relationship. Because otherwise what will happen is, if there is only one reality and you give one name, then how will you account for differences? And how will you account for how these forms came about? So everything has to be explained, and for every given phenomena that you see, there has to be a name. Only then you can understand. You can't skip a step and at the same time you have to understand all that is here is one. One water has the name bubble, has the name wave, has the name ocean, iceberg, river, pond, lake,
Spring.
yeah, snow. It all has all these names. Why do you need if it is only water? Because there are differences in forms, you have to account for the forms and functions, and you have to give a different name. It's very important for your understanding, so that you don't fly with this vision of Vedanta that I have created the world. It is vision of sanity. Understanding exactly what is what. Not being confused and not being mixed up about things. So this is where wherever you see a form, you see Ishvara. And wherever you see Ishvara, you see awareness. The whole Jagat is like that. Any form you take, you will see Ishvara, and there you will also see awareness. Think about anything, you'll end up in Ishvara and awareness. You don't need to bring out anything. Whatever is there, we are just making you see the relationship of everything that is here. A wave is made to see, the wave which only operates as a wave and misses out on two more truths of oceanness and water. How is that wave living one's life? With a very partial understanding of things.
Intention.
Huh?
Intention.
In Tai Chi?
This was a joke because we went this way. Water and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So therefore, if you want to live life of sanity, you need to know all what different levels of realities which are here and now, and be alive to them. Can't ignore that. Now, what is this Avarana Shakti? Let's go back to Avarana Shakti. Antar. No. Wait. Yeah. Antar Drik Drishya Yoho Bhedam Bahishcha Brahma Sat Gayoho Avrunoti Apara Shakti Sa Sansarasya Karanam. Along with the capacity to manifest the universe, the Maya Shakti has a second capacity, and that is what? To veil what is the reality. What is the reality? That there is only one thing which is manifesting as many. what is this particular reality is what covered for every individual jiva. And therefore, every individual lives with an understanding, which is what here it says, what Drik and Drishya. So that means it takes oneself here as the seer and rest of the Jagat as what? Seen. Everybody makes that mistake. The body becomes the seer, the mind becomes the seer, and everything external to that becomes seen. Which is two different things. One which is never divided. Because of our own ignorance, we divide in two. And also it takes what? Bahishcha Brahma Sadgayoho. Okay? And also lives as what? The Jagat, the entire Jagat being separate from oneself. So, Dvaita means, what is Dvaita? Dvaita means duality. What does it mean? If your vision of the world is, there is Jiva, Jiva, Bheda, Jiva, Jagat, Bheda, and Jiva, Ishvara, Bheda, it is called Dvaita. One person is different from the other. Jiva, Jiva, Bheda. Individual is different from the world. External. The world is external and I am, this one is internal. Jiva Jagat Bheda. The other one is Jiva Ishvara Bheda. Ishvara is some totally different entity and I am totally separate from Ishvara. If this is your vision of the world, there is what? Duality. What is non-dual? And this duality is that with which all of us live our lives. Until you come to Vedanta, this duality is the reality for everyone. And that is because of Avarana Shakti, of Maya. If everything, one thing is manifesting as many, and if everyone knew it when they were born, there is no game. But if we come with the cover, and we are given the capacity to figure it out and remove our veil of ignorance, and in one birth, if you can figure it out, you are a smart one. So that means Avarana Shakti is the one which makes us see many when there is one. And our whole interaction with the world is what? Everything is separate from me. Even if you want to be compassionate, you say that person, I want to selflessly serve that person, means that person is different from you. So therefore, everybody, as long as you believe that somebody else is different from you, totally other than you, you are in duality. You are in Avarana. And that is samsarasya karana. So what if we live with Avarana? What difference does it make? if I have avarana or not? Why should I even lift and know I'm limitless? What does it do for me? If you live with avarana, it becomes what? Samsarasya karana. It becomes the cause for samsara. What is samsara? Life of becoming. Life of becoming, where you constantly have to experience what? Pleasure and pain. Even if you have nice upadhi, let's say some nice birth on wherever, somewhere, you have a good time. It's like going on a vacation. You go to Bahamas, you go to Tahiti, you have a good time. But then you come back. You are within this samsara chakra. The minute you become individual, you become limited. And the minute you become limited, your search is to free yourself. And you see the world and you try to engage in the world to free yourself. This is how it is. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't get what you want. When you don't get what you want, the story of that small jiva goes on becoming heavier and heavier. This is the cost of staying within avarana. Nobody can avoid it. I asked in one of my classes, how many things go your way? Starting from the weather. What do you think if I ask you how many things go your way and in terms of percentage as an individual? 55% of the things go your way? Wonderful. Wow, she's lucky. I have got answers from 0 to 50. 50 is the highest I got. And now she's saying 55. Wonderful. They're a highly successful person.
What means going your way?
Go your way means you wanted, as a child, you wanted a toy and you always got it. You wanted to eat French fries and you got it. Every small thing to big things in life.
But it's even the opposite way around, because things are coming what I was not expecting.
Yeah, that's
It's even better sometimes.
sometimes you get lucky, but that's true. Sometimes you get lucky. But at the same time, if you really count, right? That's why they fall within what? These 50%. When things go your way or even a little better. But when things don't go your way, there is a huge even if 55% of the things go your way or better, 45% of the things still don't go your way.
And when you don't get your Coke and you only get water, it's good for you. I mean,
Yeah,
know your way on the
but
long
what
term.
are you feeling at that time? So you're telling yourself a story. I hate my mom. That is a problem. And over a period of time, the story goes on building. So that means if you choose to live with it, avarana, go ahead. We don't have any problem. It's your choice. We don't have this missionary zeal to go and tell everyone, hey, come, 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 we have the truth. We don't have that. It's good not to have that missionary zeal. But you need to be compassionate. And you need to facilitate learning. And for those who are attempting to come out of the veil, and if you have somehow removed your veil with the help of some teachers and the tradition of teaching, you have to help others to do the same, provided they want it. You don't impose yourself on people. But you are ready to help. So this is what is this whole pursuit is removing what? Avarana. Water is already there. Ocean is already there. The wave only has to lift one's veil to see the fact that there is ocean and there is water. You're not producing anything new. It's there. Praptasya prapti. The gaining, when the wave gains water, what kind of gain is it? Apraptasya prapti or praptasya prapti? Praptasya prapti. That's why there is no action. The wave is already the water. What does it have to do to become water? As long as your orientation is I have to do something, you will never get it. It will remain a secret. What does the wave have to do to produce the ocean? Nothing. Nothing. Just has to know it.
Yeah, so growing in knowledge.
Yeah, growing in knowledge. Wonderful. You go. Grow in your knowledge and become alive to realities. So, this is what avarana removal, which is important because what it is sansarasya karana. Now,
So this is the difference between people who have some special energy, or like God people or God men, we have this, I think this name, and who become very special, and another jnani. He doesn't have these extra powers or extra developments, which leaves you one day again.
sorry, Sarthaka, what?
I mean, we are all often fascinated by people who have this extra, who are godlike. Who, I mean, we have this possibility to grow, like to become gods in a way, in maybe after in other Locas or something, yeah. And but this is not our aim. This is not freedom. Freedom is that you understand who you are.
Yeah. So
we're sometimes hooked.
Yes.
This.
Yeah, what Sarthaka is saying, it's a nice thing that he's saying. See, what happens is, let's look at, I think he brought 2 points. 2 are interesting points. The first thing is, we human beings are so fascinated by, when you see in somebody a power which is slightly more than the normal range. So for example, if somebody is able to, let's say, for example, produce vibhuti from the hand. Vibhuti is some ashes from the hand. Then that person that person becomes God-man. Because you can't do it and that person can do it. Yeah, she's sorry that you can't do it. So anytime a slightly increase in power attracts us all, and we start equating that person to what? Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman Ishvara. Then that person also starts calling oneself Ishvara, God's man. That's the name he's giving. Okay. Now this is something which is a catch. Maybe it is true that the person has power. We don't deny that. There is some yoga vidya where there are actually they are called Siddhis. And you can work very hard to develop. It's like, if I keep on working on one muscle, I will become stronger than the rest. Then if I have some technique and if I work on that technique, I will have in that given place more power. So many different siddhis are talked about in what? Yoga Shastra. But as Sarthaka says, the wisdom that we are talking about has got nothing to do with what you having slightly extra power than the normal. You can't confuse the two. You can have people with power. Even the magician has a power. You go to magic shows, you'll be fascinated by what all the magician can do. Is he wiser? Is he a wise person? But that power itself, the power is not a measure of wisdom.
So it's not a measure of freedom either.
Exactly. It's not measure of freedom either.
If he depends on the power to feel good, he's
Exactly.
bound to the power.
Absolutely. And if he uses the power to exploit others, then that is what another, it's even following adharma. So therefore, there is a story. What is it, Yuta?
I'm just thinking, and what is with the people who are declared to be an avatar?
Yeah.
Like, how is this?
So we don't know. There are hundreds of people who are declaring avatar and what they are and who they are and why they are saying what they are saying. So let's not talk about things that we don't know about. Like who is the person? But this is a good, interesting thing that, that there is what somebody who does have power. So there is a story which shows that what seems so fascinating for us is actually not a big deal. So there was one person who, after years of practice, learned to walk on water. And he spent 12 years trying to walk on the water. And then he was so proud that he wanted to show off his power. So there was a kind of he was walking, and then there was this man who came and he was taking a boat to go across. So this person with power went to this person and said, so where do you want to go? And he says, I want to go across. So how are you going to go? I'm going to take a boat. Oh, you're going to take a boat? I will show you. I can walk on the water. I don't need to take a boat. So he starts walking on the water. And he thought that this man is going to be highly impressed. This man did not seem too amused. So the person was a little bit taken aback. And he says, aren't you fascinated by the fact that I'm walking on the water? The person said, not really. How come not? He said, how long did it take for you to learn this? So he said, it took me 12 years of hard work to learn how to walk on the water. He says, the other one said, why did you waste 12 years of your life trying to walk on the water where I can easily take a boat and cross. What did you really accomplish by working on this skill for 12 years? The human mind is a very fanciful mind. Anything little bit out of range means you get, oh yeah, this person is really spiritual. This person is Avatar. Oh, who is Avatar?
Is Vedanta not speaking about Avatar?
Yes, but Avatar is a very definite,
Yes.
this power doesn't make Avatar.
No, this is what
Yes.
I don't meant that this
Yes.
is a special video like this.
Yes. So therefore, what is important to recognize is that this little out of range power is nothing. Anybody who claims to have power, you ask them to stop tsunami. You ask them if they themselves die one day. If they can help with what your body, if there is some disease, and if they can help recover, then everybody that they are helping will never have a disease and will never die. Is it true?
I think this depends very much upon how they use their power.
Exactly.
It's
So that
very-
means power by itself is not a measure of wisdom. It depends upon how you use it.
I think it takes a lot of understanding and self-control to be able to gain certain powers, like for example walking on water. So you must have a certain level of wisdom to understand that it's even possible. And then, well, if you miss or you just waste this power, then there is a lack of wisdom, of course, but still.
See, the wisdom is not just skill based. The wisdom is, really the wisdom is defined as how much you are aware to realities. Even a sportsman has a lot of skills. So many people have a lot of skills, but they don't necessarily have wisdom. Wisdom is another ball game altogether. How do you view the world? How do you view yourself and your role in the world? What is your relationship with other beings? It's all, if it is based on reality, then you are wise. If you have just got some power, that one also has to see, maybe that power is little bit out of the range, but the relativity of that power. With the same person who has acquired power to walk on the water, you ask them to go to high ocean and walk there. You won't be able to do it. So it is just within a range and it is not a measure of anybody's wisdom. Investing in wisdom means you have to invest in realities. With a distorted picture, imagine you are in a mirror, which is a convex or a concave mirror. The starting image that you see of yourself is distorted. And with this starting image, imagine you are appearing really fat. And then you starve. Because you can't stand to see yourself so fat. You have to invest in reality, which is what figuring out what is your... Otherwise, you're constantly trying to solve the problem according to your perception. And if your perception of things itself is wrong, you'll never get anywhere in solution. You have no choice. If you want wisdom, you have to invest in realities. And realities are very often different than what the eyes can meet. So, this is the thing. The other thing that Sarthaka was talking about is another different kinds of births which are called Deva. As I had said, there are different Locas. So here one scenario is on this earth you have more power. The other thing is in other Loka people are more evolved, as I told yesterday. They have better bodies, they have better objects. So they are called what we call Devas.
So would Sai Baba, for instance, or would that be a Deva?
So no, Sai Baba was just a human being, right? He's here.
Walked
Because Deva is in some other Loka.
There are not, okay.
In one of these 7-up
Okay.
Lokas.
7 up.
or
7 down is not Deva.
But that's not Deva.
But that's not Deva.
Yeah.
7 up is a Deva. One of them is Deva, but the few are Devas.
But I understood the 7 levels is also a concept, no? Or
No, the Shastra does talk about different Lokas.
that means this is reality?
Yeah, because see, on this...
You just
See, as I just explained to you, that there are all these karmas that are waiting in Jiva, for Jiva. So different karmas will take you. It's not like only earth is the place where they come. In this vast, imagine the vastness of the universe. Then to think that only earth has life and there is no life anywhere else, most likely not true.
But why exactly 7?
Sorry?
Why exactly 7 Lokas up and down?
So that's what is written in the Vedas.
Okay, that's
Yeah, so that's just, yeah. So that is something which is mentioned.
They don't give the address also.
I was in trouble.
Or the website. Or
So therefore, even if you go to this, it is true that they have, it is punya which has got them, and it is true that they have more powers, they have more pleasures, but they are still jivas. Because you are only that entity, you are not the whole. So relatively, it's true that they are better off. True. Better off, but they are having a good time. They are on a vacation home, which is having fun. But they have really not solved the problem of ignorance. They are still within samsara. Yeah. There are 3 people there, everybody is raising hands. Okay, yeah.
So you can read in different books and hear from different sides. Some of those that are in a higher locus by free will, they come always in every age. There are some of those masters that come by free will on the earth to help humanity.
Yeah, see, we have Ishvara there, so we don't need, it's in the program of the all knowledge and all power, which jiva is going where, at what time is organized. So therefore, we have an entity called Ishvara within which everything works.
No avatars.
I can't say now next birth I want to go there and I want to go here. It is part of that. This is why you are not Ishvara upadhi. That's why we make a upadhi difference. Jiva upadhi and Ishvara upadhi. if you don't have Ishvara, then all these kind of things come. Oh yeah, I choose to go here, I choose to go there, because they don't have the entity Ishvara. And that Ishvara, I think one day Anna was asking, and that Ishvara, all knowledge and all power is everywhere. So every second the world is getting reorganized. It's not somebody sitting there and saying, Anna has done that, so now let me do this to her. There is no entity external like that. The minute you do, then the universe reorganizes. Because it's all one, all knowledge and all power.
Only for understanding that means there is no coming back and helping on like this. In Vedanta, there is no this.
See, the thing is, you don't...
Avatar, there is no avatar.
Avatar is there, but avatar is something different. She wants the answer to what is avatar. Okay, avatar is, I will tell you very briefly now, because she is very curious now, so I have to answer what is avatar. So, avatar in Bhagavad Gita, as Carl said, Lord Krishna is not presented as just one simple guru. Lord Krishna is presented as Avatar. Yeah. So what is the difference between a wise person giving you this knowledge and Avatar? What is the difference between wise person and Avatar? Good question. The difference between wise person and Avatar is very simple. The Avatar is this, when this all knowledge and all power takes one given form, specific form, to accomplish a given task, it is called Avatar. That means it is not like a jiva who is born because of karma, because of the causal body. So that means Avatara is not born of ignorance, whereas a jiva is born of ignorance, which means your karma.
So a wise person cannot be an avatar because he is born out of ignorance.
Exactly. But a wise person can be a wise person. So that means, one second. So Carl, what it means is, Avatara is born without ignorance, but it takes a given form to perform a particular task. Wise person is born of ignorance, but in this lifetime has removed the ignorance. So this is why Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that Gnani and me, there is no difference. The wise person and I, there is no difference. Why? Because both don't have ignorance. One person, Avatara, is born without ignorance. The other one is born with ignorance but removed the ignorance in this lifetime. That's why you call that person a wise person.
The wise person had to gain all the knowledge within his life, and the avatar just had it from the
Yes, exactly. The knowledge of the essential reality. Yes, exactly.
So an avatar comes to help the needs of the people?
Yes. Avatar comes to help the needs of the people. Most of the time, whenever the world requires corrections, you don't always need Avatar. Many corrections are done by people themselves. This is why you have some extraordinary people born. You have people like Gandhi, you have people like Mandela, you have people like Einstein, you have people who are just amazing in different domains. They are all jivas and they define, they are what our teacher used to say, Yuga Purusha. They bring about such a very major fundamental change. They are all evolved jivas. very evolved. If you have spent many years, right, playing violin, then you can become what? You can come as a child prodigy. Because in that domain, you have really spent your lifetime. So you come with that excellence. People like Mozart and all, brilliant minds. So these are what we call exalted jivas. In different domains, you have exalted jivas. Some jivas, like as I told you, Gandhi and all, they accomplish very big things. So therefore, every time you don't need Avatara. Many things are done through jiva. In some circumstances, no jiva is capable of accomplishing that given task. In which case, as a result of the prayer, Avatara comes. So it is only very rare and very seldom. It's not like for every solution of the problem an Avatara descends and fixes up everything. So therefore, this Avatara is an exceptional thing.
You talked about Lakshmi and Saraswati and Shiva. Do they belong to the Locas, high Locas, or are they beyond?
No, they are not considered like devatas, the entities. This is looking at, see, that's a good question. Until you know the reality of what Saraswati stands for, which is the all knowledge, and when you're invoking that all knowledge from a given standpoint, which is what your capacity, the intelligence, and you're praying to that entity for increasing your capacity, that is what it depends upon what your understanding is. If you don't understand, most of the time people don't understand Ishvara as all pervading intelligence and that it has many different aspects. So for you it is Deva. You're praying to Devi and you think that there is Saraswati with her veena, with sitting on a swan, and she's away from you. So this is our human orientation.
Yeah.
Human orientation is she's away from me and she's like a big auntie that I have to pray to. From that understanding, you have to change and you have to move to this understanding that it is one of the manifestations of intelligence.
How do you recognize an avatar?
Yeah, that's a good question. And this is why it's not very easy. I mean, this is why one has to be very careful because anybody can proclaim that I'm an avatar. Right? So that's why we don't really pay attention to avatar as such. It is what that person says. See, the teaching of Bhagavad Gita is important because what is said in the Gita is relevant even now. It is not because Avatara said it, therefore it is valid. What is said, if I really sit and examine, it is valid now. So therefore, what we value is the wisdom and not that given status. Because otherwise what is problematic in this Avatara status is anybody can declare, and how are you going to know whether this person is Avatara or not? That leads to a lot of blind faith and a lot of kind of, things which are not necessary. Because Lord Krishna himself says that between me and wise person, there is no difference whatsoever. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Gnani tu Atma eva me matam. my Atma and Gnani's Atma are the same, and the Gnani knows it. So therefore, it is better to, at least in our day-to-day society, I would not pay much attention to if somebody says, I'm an Avatara. Because what you teach will show how much knowledge you have. Anybody else? Somebody, Christina?
Yeah, just a simple question, but in all 7 down and 7 up, Loka, it's possible to get rid of ignorance? Or is it more likely
yeah, it's more like a holiday home. See what they say. Now these are all kind of things that we have to take from Veda. We have no way to verify, right? But it's true. I mean, basically what they say is, see, it's like on they have nice bodies and a lot of nice things to enjoy. So they are predominantly bhokta. When everything is going wonderful, when you are on the beach and you have nice food and then you have nice sun shine, then the existential questions may not arise too much in your mind.
But is it definitely like we need other Loka? But because I mean in our society we have the same structure, haven't we? Like we have like people where life goes well and they don't really go up and ask the really deep questions, and then we have other people which
that's true. But you know, imagine you make some whole vast universe and you will give only this human earth is just a dot in the universe.
Yeah, this makes totally sense to me.
So all knowledge and all power will not waste so much.
Yeah.
So much of universe just for nothing.
No, I'm not asking about this. I'm asking. I mean, I can totally. That makes totally sense to me. But on the other hand, I mean, we have here humans with better bodies.
Yeah, sure.
And not as good
yeah,
bodies.
exactly.
So it's like not only like the little places in the universe. It's a little bit in here on Earth as well.
So as I was explaining, you know, so from in your sanchita karma, there are punyas.
Yeah.
Those punyas can either give you better birth on this earth, or they can give you birth in some other lokas. So, well, it depends upon what kind of karma it is.
Swamiji has an answer for that. What he was saying is that there are some, among these lokas, there are higher lokas, but they are very, very difficult to access. And it is like years and years of like meditation and prayers and so on, and ascetic disciplines and rituals, and like it's like a commitment which is not like once in a while. Okay? And during lifetimes, and the punya you accumulate gives you access to this Brahmaloka, no?
Yeah, final in
one
this
of the
seventh
top,
up.
let's say, lokas is the Brahmaloka, and in this loka, it is said that you can get taught also. So not only you will have a good time and so on, but also you can get the teaching. But in fact, the teaching is what? What will be the teaching about?
Tattvamasi.
So why do you spend so much years doing this? Where locally there are people available, no? But it's possible. Swamiji used to speak about that.
Yeah, it's possible in Brahmaloka.
In Brahmaloka only. Yeah.
Yeah, so Swamiji used to make a joke out of it. He says, what, now I've reached Brahmaloka, I'm going to receive teaching. And it's like, what is the teaching? He says, oh, Tattvamasi, my local monk said the same thing. So, this is how it is. Okay, we have 10 minutes to 6. I'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.